Today we're catching some sun and waves with Suzy, a QHS member whose life is as vibrant and refreshing as a seaside breeze. What currents brought her to the sunny shores of the quantum shift? Let's surf behind the scenes to see the waves she's been riding.
Hi, I'm Suzy. I was born in Seoul, Korea, 1961. I came to the United States when I was 9 years old. I grew up as a military brat. As a little girl in Korea, I looked very different, being half and half, having light-colored hair. I stood out, so I was teased by the kids in Korea telling me to go back to America. We don't want you here. My mom even dyed my hair black so I wouldn't stand out. When I was little, going to the markets with her, people whispering, she said. Remember, this was, back in the early 60s. My dad was stationed in South Korea until 1970. Then we moved to the United States. The teasing continued, American kids calling me Chinese, go home. But looking back, it taught me great lessons, which helped me to be flexible, more determined, and helped me become strong and push me through life. Curious about my heritage, I did a DNA test through 23andMe. And found out, interestingly, I am 50% European. And out of the 50%, 34% of that, I'm Irish, British, Scottish, and 16% out of the 50, I'm French, German, and of course 50% Korean. So I'm seriously mixed. So I grew up in Louisiana and Germany, where my daddy was stationed also for a few years, then returned back to Louisiana, where my daddy eventually retired from the military. At 11, my teacher sent a note home to my parents to have my hearing checked. Daddy had bell tone come out to our home to test me at the kitchen table. Back in those days, they did home visits. Found out I was completely deaf in one ear, zero hearing in my right ear, actually. So, it never occurred to me to stay limited and not pursue the impossibles, just blend into a normal way of life and living. I'm sure I missed out, all the outside noise since I didn't hear everything, and probably to my benefit due to the teasing as a youngster. Then after a couple of years arriving in America, I made lots of friends. I was accepted and I gelled right in with my peers and was treated very well. My childhood, I was super active in school. I made cheerleading. I was involved in a lot of sports. And since I was athletic and a high achiever and pretty competitive, possibly due to my insecurities, maybe back then, I don't know. But my mom allowed me lessons in martial arts to help me with my confidence since I loved the competition in sports. I also play the saxophone in the school band. So my parents had 6 children. My daddy was an alcoholic. There were lots of verbal abuse, and my parents fought constantly growing up. I want to add, though, my daddy was mostly an honorable man who worked real hard to feed his large family and devoted to my mom. Unfortunately, he passed away too young at the age of 55. Being a firstborn comes with much high expectations and responsibilities as a firstborn in Korean culture. My frustrated Korean mom, that came to America for a better life was overwhelmed, became physically, emotionally abusive. She was dealing with her own traumas growing up in Korean War experiences. So lots of stuff going on in my household back then. I was even taken away by the states into the foster care system due to physical abuse as a young teenager. got my first job at 16, bought my own car with my own money. I left home way too young and got married, mainly to really get away from all the fights and chaos at home and just basically looking for love. I have 3 beautiful children, healthy children, all good-hearted humans. I am very blessed for that. I basically pushed through life, no college education. I got my real estate license in my early 20s, and opportunities just fell on my lap. Even with no real business experiences, I was still able to meet the right people at the right places and at the right time. You know, the right people always just showed up for me in life. I was probably, I would say it was pretty lucky, crazy lucky. So many stories of angels that just popped up in my life. I was always very highly favored. So I went through some, rocky experiences along the way, of course, but God always was right there for me and helped me make things happen. I landed positions that normally require college degrees, but I was grandfathered into positions, with a successful company in the home building business with a nationwide home builder. I'm very customer oriented and had organizational skills. I was likable and great with people, so that was a plus. I had opportunities that relocated me and my family a few times and worked my way throughout the East Coast, West Coast, selling beautiful new homes in different new communities as a sales manager for Toll Brothers. And of course, there's another career path. Believe it or not, I actually also flew for a major airline back in the 80s. As a little girl, my dream was to be a flight attendant, but always knew that I would never pass the hearing test. Well, I was not supposed to pass it, but I pursued it anyway. I was fortunate to have been hired and able to fulfill one of my lifetime dreams. I even went back into training in martial arts, determined to get my black belt after my 3rd child was born, and successfully earned my black belt at 35 years old and became a kickboxing instructor. Sometimes when I look back at my life, I think, wow, I, lived many lives in this lifetime and can't believe it. So other than occasional bad sore throats due to infected tonsils and fever to go with that, I had no real health issues growing up as a kid. I had my first tonsil taken out when I was 8 years old in Korea. They actually forgot to remove both tonsils. They only took out one. So after moving to the States, the doctor discovered only one tonsil's left in me and removed the other one when I was about 11 years old. So up to my mid-40s, I had no problems with real health issues at that point in my life. And as a matter of fact, I was probably in the best shape of my life into my 40s. As I continued working and living my life, I was busy, focused in working hard and raising my children. And then in my mid-40s, one day, I lost complete hearing out of nowhere. Doctors didn't know what was causing it or how to treat it. I went to a specialist and they rushed me into this steroid treatment and said that if I did not immediately recover my hearing within like 38 hours, that I most likely would never hear again. So of course I was so scared of never hearing again, I went along with their suggestion of administering massive doses of prednisone for sudden and complete hearing loss. And then diuretics for water retention in my body because I became very swollen. I got my hearing back temporarily and then lost my hearing again. So basically back and forth with heavy doses with multiple hearing loss, regaining hearing, and heavy, steroids, repeat over and over. And so that went on for over about a year. The doctors didn't know what was causing the reoccurrence of complete hearing loss, but diagnosed my condition as inner ear autoimmune disease, but not able to explain what or how to cure it. So additional hearing loss to my only hearing ear continued. So out of desperation, I researched a acupuncturist who was Chinese that prepared Chinese medicine, specifically natural herbal ingredients as that calmed my hearing loss. So although, I never really got back my full hearing that I lost from the trauma, I still had my hearing to function in life. So I am now at around 45% hearing in my only hearing ear, which I could not get back. The other damage was to my eyesight also. I believe possibly all the medication caused my eyesight to become very weak in the process. I never had any vision problems until I took the medication. I had perfect vision up to that point in my life. So now my vision is not so great either. So a few years later, I started experiencing severe vertigo that eventually caused me to basically walk away from my job. Pretty much forced me my early retirement in my mid-50s due to stress from it all. I love the water, so I retired in Florida until Hurricane Sally hit that caused major damages, having to basically rebuild, renovate, then selling my happy place and move back to Louisiana where I grew up. As a humanitarian, I believe I was led here to help rebuild Louisiana, especially since it's near the military base here, and so many veterans retire here. I want to help heal, rebuild, and bring it back shiny, bright, and healthy. So fast forward, I'm 63, pretty healthy and happy, stayed in great shape all my life, ate very well. I work out with light weights for toning. I'm an avid bike rider. I like to hike, walk regularly, and love music and dancing. So I followed Ron and Tracy from Loved One Society here because I trust them and their leadership that basically got me here. I have big plans to do humanitarian work, plus participate in the quantum healing system centers everywhere where I open, the Community Assistance Center, which is one of the 5 pillars available to help the world rebuild and heal. I am here because I was led here. It's no coincidence that I found Loved One Society and Quantum Healing System. I am always at the right place at the right time. So I've been a member of QHS since April of 23, so that's about a year and a half now. So far, I've had great progress with quantum healing. I am so excited about getting my hearing back and get rid of the constant ringing in my ear. I don't know what it's like to fully hear everything around me, so that's very exciting to me. So today, I am still 0 hearing in my right ear and maybe about 45% hearing left in my only hearing ear. So I am truly grateful for this opportunity, and it's an amazing time to be alive. And so, of course, I almost forgot about my thumper. He is my 5-pound Yorkie. He has had serious liver issues and needed treatment. He's been glued to my hips all this time, being exposed to the QT waves, alongside me and healed very quickly. When I took him back for his blood work, it showed up completely negative for liver failure, and he is completely healed. He's like a brand new puppy at 7 years old. Yorkies don't shed, but I had noticed his hair falling out everywhere, and I was constantly vacuuming, but he grew back, all new hair, and it's shiny, and he looks like a new puppy with soft, silky, healthy hair. And of course, I love him to death, and he's on this journey with me. So basically, that's it. That's about all I can share with you at this time, and look forward to healing and getting my hair back. Thank you.
Join us on the Prequel, where every story matters and every voice is heard. Because here at QHS, we're all about healing, learning, and growing together.